everyone, and welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, I'm Romera Arloya, your host and the owner of Your Milk LLC, where I create handcrafted skincare and self-care products. Instead of just listening to true crime in the background while I work in my makeshift studio, I decided to share them all with you every Saturday. So sit back, hit that subscribe button, and relax as we take on a new journey while I craft a new creation. Check out the description box below for more details on the product that I'm creating, and feel free to explore our website while you're there. Now, let's get into today's story. For the past several weeks, I have been recapping the docuseries on Netflix about the 7M TikTok dance cult. If the algorithm has brought you this far, then I trust that you do know a little something about the 7M TikTok cult, but if not, I highly suggest you like this video as a placeholder and go catch up on my 2 previous recaps. That way we can all enjoy the conclusion together. And ironically, I use the term enjoy and conclusion loosely because I was dissatisfied. Not with the series as a whole, because I do believe they did a very good job at bringing this to light. Because again, as someone who is a novice on TikTok but does enjoy scrolling, I had no clue that there was some little hidden Shekinah church, Robert Sheehan pastor, TikTok dance cult, multi-million-dollar thing going on in the background. I like my true crime stories to have an ending. Crime, period, is horrible. My heart goes out to victims and families and loved ones. But I want to know that the criminal is in jail or in hell. I want to know that there was an end to their reign of terror. And for the 3rd time, I have gotten ahead of myself. So let me refocus and actually cover part 3, titled Reap What You Sow. So I know that this all started because the Wilking family went on social media as a plea to their loved one, Miranda Derrick, now was Wilking at the time, but went on to social media basically pleading for her to get in contact with them. She hadn't spoken to them in so long, and they suspected that she was in a cult. They saw that her bank account was being drained. She's not really communicating with them. She's blocking them on social media, phones, whatever. They couldn't find her. But I will say, and no, this is no competition, but the Lee sisters definitely took over this documentary. These are some badass chicks. Like the espionage that we witnessed in the opening scene with them tracking down Robert and his puppets at a Korean restaurant and serving him with some papers. Like that, especially if you recall what they went through, because they basically gave their background and their story in the second part. But like, if you recall what they went through, that shit took some guts. Like, I was like rooting for them as this opened. But in the same breath, my heart sank because Priscilla felt guilty for doing that, which is understandable because, again, if you recall, she just recently left the Shekinah church, and she has been out here on her own after being a part of that cult for over 20 years. That's 20 years of being told what to do, what to say, what to eat, where to work. And not only that, she alleges that, and I'm only saying allege because, again, we have not came to a conclusion. So she alleges that Robert sexually abused her for 10 years. I'm not diagnosing her because I can't, but this definitely, to me, displayed, in my opinion, Stockholm Syndrome. It's like she knows that what she went through was terrible. She understands that what Robert Sheehan did to her was wrong. But for the past 20 plus years, these are people that she considered family. These are people that she protected. And she says this. So I really felt for Priscilla throughout basically this entire episode. But she kind of confirmed what I felt last time with, okay, she's just now recently out of this cult, so I wonder where her headspace is and how she's feeling. And hoping that she can find the strength to really move forward with the rest of her life. And then you have Melanie Lee, who has now been removed from that cult lifestyle for over a decade. She now has her own family. She has a daughter. She has been acclimated to the way of the world in a sense that Priscilla has not. So it's almost like they are living in two totally different eras. Like, Priscilla feels like she's lost 20 years of her life, and Melanie has felt that she has moved on for the past 10. But to me, my opinion, Melanie may still have some things that she needs to work through, because I believe it was in part 1 or part 2. She basically just said she suppressed it. So she hasn't really dealt with the depths, from what we know in this series, of what she went through and how she ended up there. And you can really see that with Priscilla's interaction with her father. I would not have known that both of their parents were still alive. Granted, when they went through what they went through, the Lee sisters, there wasn't social media like that. Like, no, their parents couldn't hop on Instagram Live and like beg for basically like a media outrage or bring the situation to light. But it's like, did y'all look for them? Because these were young girls when this happened. Because I believe Melanie said she was in 9th grade when she was baptized by Robert, but she was already there for 4 years. So this was 4 years after she met him. So like, these were young girls. I know that they had a questionable upbringing, but at what point were you looking for your children? So then we have the sit down with Melanie and Priscilla. And like I said, some of the things that I suspected just by watching the series, again, we're getting a glimpse of pretty much an edited show. Just from the little bit that I saw, I still, in my heart, feel that Priscilla slightly or maybe greatly resents Melanie for what has happened. I know that we're all responsible for ourselves, but I mean, if you have a close relationship with your sibling or a best friend or anything, any kind of close relationship, like, I can see it being easy to possibly manipulate someone if you think that you're doing something to save them. So like, Priscilla stayed in that atmosphere as long as she did because Robert was manipulating her to believe that she was saving her sister. And now that Priscilla knows that that was a lie, I wonder how she feels about that. Because she really goes into like wishing that she didn't miss out on so much of her life. Like, she was in her 20s 20 years ago. So she feels she's missed on the opportunity to have children, to have a family, to know what life is like, living it to your standards and living within your dreams and your truth instead of someone else's. So that is something I wholeheartedly hope that they work through, because I think Melanie got a sense of where Priscilla is now, but it does seem like it's hard for her to understand her at this point in their relationship, because she has had that freedom the past 10 years. She has had that privilege to become a mother, to, be in a relationship, to have a family, to work where you want to work, to eat what you want to eat. She's been able to do that. It seems like she can't relate to Priscilla, and Priscilla cannot relate to her. She doesn't understand the ways that of the world the way that Melanie has seen it, because she missed it, in her opinion. So Priscilla is pursuing a civil suit against Robert, as well as the other 4 victims that has been providing commentary throughout this docuseries. So that's one resolve that we got. But the police is pretty much saying that there's not much that they can do, because everyone here is a consenting adult at this point. Even though we on the outside feel it's wrong, by law, they don't see Robert doing anything wrong, and there's not enough evidence. There's a lot of he say, she say. But there's a shit ton of smoke for there to not be fire. So I'm shocked with the money questions. That alone, He's defrauding something, allegedly. And the main person that this docuseries started behind, Miranda, she's still in the cult. And so are several other people whose families appeared in this docuseries. So, like, Robert's not in jail. Miranda's still not with her family. Like, she's talking to him more, but they feel like it's for social media, not in the way it used to be. So, that being said, let's keep the discussion alive in the comments. I'm curious to know your thoughts. I still want to slightly dig into whether or not Twitch may have been a part of this, but I think I am 7M'd out at this point until we start talking about it, I guess, in 2025, because right now I'm just like, nobody's doing anything. It's just a whole lot of talking. If I could help, I would. I don't know where my expertise would be needed. They need some soap or something. I got them. Some bath salts, milk baths. I got that kind of stuff. But anyway, I'm curious to know your thoughts, so feel free to leave them down in the comments. Thank you for joining me on today's video. If you enjoyed the comment, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more. Until next time, self-care and stay safe.